Hi Leo, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol. This is going to be a general reading for September 2024. So before I do my reading for you, I have to tell you this really short story about the significance of the neon green dragonfly that you might have seen when you clicked on my video. And this was a picture that was sent to me from my daughter about 2 weeks ago. I looked at it and we exchanged a few words on it, and I'll get to those words in a minute, but I put it away and it was like, for some reason, it was like, I'm not looking at this. And I know better, and I think she knows that she sent it to me for a reason, because she knows that I'm interested in spiritual animals, and in particular ones that are kind of random and odd and show up out of nowhere. And I mean, I think you'll agree with me that this is an incredible picture. And so, my ego self would have said to me, it means nothing. It's meant for her. She's the one that spotted it. But the thing is here, she sent it to me. And I'm sure I was probably the only person she sent it to, because she knew I would have been interested in it. And so when I sat down to think about a reading for you the other night, the picture of that neon green dragonfly came to me, and I'm like, okay, that was the intuitive nudge that I got. I need to look at this picture again. And so I looked up, the first thing I did was I looked up our conversation that my daughter and I had on Messenger. The first thing she said to me was, look at this guy, I spotted him. And when I looked up the significance of the dragonfly as a spiritual animal, actually, what I did was I looked at the story of the dragonfly, and what it takes for them to get here on this earth, and before we can actually see them. And so they have this incredible metamorphosis, this incredible transformation of going from this water-dwelling nymph insect to this adult flying thing that we see around. And as an adult, they only last about 1 to 2 weeks typically, but they can last up to 6 to 8 weeks. So the fact that she spotted him was incredible. I have never seen a neon green dragonfly. And when you look at this picture, I mean, it looks fake. And that was my reaction. It looked fake. And I said, touch it. And because I thought it was like a kid that had stuck it to, a post or something. And to be honest with you, that was my belief. And it almost still is, because it looks so real. I mean, so fake. So much of it has, these pearly eyes, and the wings have like almost like this, it looks like it's gold plated or something. And the fact that it's neon green, I had to look up, Googled if there's such a thing as a neon green dragonfly. I mean, it's like this illusion. It looks fake, but it's real. And then when I asked her to touch it, her response was, ooh, no. And that was huge significance for me, because what is it about ourselves that we believe to be true, but it's a real illusion, because underneath it all, it's fake. And we're afraid to look at it, to dig it out and look at it and see, what is it about this that is not real? And so there was my reading for you. I was going to do a reading, and I'm going to call it Moving Beyond the Illusion. So the first thing I want to look at in your reading is, what false idea or belief about yourself that you need to become aware of. And you might not even know, because sometimes it has that, ooh, I don't want to look at it. Because, we walk around with masks and we believe that this is who we are. But when we start to dig at it, it's not really who we are. It's something usually that people told us about ourselves, and we've grown up to believe this is who we are. And so in the second part of the reading, I'm going to do some shadow work. And so I'm going to look at what shadow aspect is driving or impacting this illusion that you have about yourself. So it's going to dig up something from childhood that probably, you've learned about yourself and you continue to believe it. And so if you're not familiar with those two terms, shadow or shadow work, I'm going to leave a really good video that I've done on my other channel called Carol Cares. And it's called My Powerful 4-Step to Shadow Work. And it's all about facing your own shadow. And I really walk you through how I have faced and continue to face my own shadow intensively so I can heal my own childhood trauma. And then in the last part of the reading, I'm going to look at, how can you begin to heal this shadow aspect that's coming up for you so that you can move beyond this illusion and heal yourself. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. When I sat down and put together this reading, I said, well, you know what? This has something for me. She sent it to me 2 weeks ago. And so what I did was I had to look at, in the last 2 weeks, how have I been healing, or what do I need to look at that, what illusion of myself do I need to move beyond for personal growth? Because the color green is all about personal growth and healing and transformation. And sure enough, that's what I've been doing. And so I know that this had a lot to do with me and my own healing journey, of course. It always does when I do these readings. And so I hope that this has a lot to do with you, and you let me know below if you resonate with the reading that I'm going to do for you right now. So let's get started with your reading. In today's reading, I'm going to be using the Animal Guides Tarot to begin with. Very apropos, since we're talking about spirit animals here. I'm going to use the Rider-Waite deck to clarify, and then I'm going to pull you a spirit animal card at the end. All right, so let's begin with our animal guides here, and I'm going to start off by asking you what false belief or idea about yourself do you have that you need to become aware of. And I do want to let you know that my personal readings are still discounted right now, 10% until September 15th. I've extended that for you. And the link is in my description box. It's also in my comments. And there are about 6 readings that you can choose from. And one of them is the reading I'm doing today. So have a look at that. Click on it. Have a look and see if any of those readings would interest you if you're interested in a reading. So let's begin. Let's get going with a false idea or belief system you have here about yourself, Leo. Here, let's see what this deck is going to bring out here. Sometimes they come out quickly with this deck. They're a bit hard to deal. But so far so good. They've been working for the theme. And as I say that, they might not come out as quickly. All right, let's try this a little bit faster here. Okay, I'm going to take this first card that came out here, which was this one, which was the 2 of Fire, which is the 2 of Wands. The 2 of Wands. And shadow aspect for you. The shadow aspect for you that's driving or impacting this 2 of Wands. And I'm going to go with the one that's turned over. The Emperor card in reverse. And how can you start to heal this? Some advice from the tarot here. And the 5 of Air wants to come out. 5 of Swords. I can't express it enough how many times the 5 of Swords or the 5 of Wands have been coming out in every single reading. Last reading I just did for Capricorn, the 5 of Swords came out and the 5 of Wands. And they all pretty much have to do with your unworthiness and your shame, and it seems to be the overriding theme that's coming out here for me for moving beyond the illusion of who we are, who we think we are, right? Which is not our true self. So I'm going to ask the universe for 2 to 3 cards to clarify this Two of Fire for Leo here. 2 to 3 cards. You got the Two of Swords. So that's interesting here. You got the Two of Wands and then the Two of Swords right under it. A couple more. First I thought it was a Two of Fire, but it wasn't. Different suit. 2 more cards, please. One more. There we go. All right, so for the Two of Wands, you have the Two of Swords. You have the High Priestess in reverse, and you have the Six of Wands in reverse. And let's get some clarification for this Emperor in reverse, please. You have the Two of Wands, and the Empress in reverse. And we're going to go with one more. One more. There's Five of Pentacles, another card that's been coming out. Those 3 cards, the 3 fives, incredible. And the Five of Air, Five of Swords here. 2 to 3 cards to clarify. Oh, there are 2 here. I thought there was just one. Just need one more card. One more card, please. Okay, so you have the Seven of Cups, 3 of Cups, and the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, what belief system? First, before we begin, I gotta do this card right here. So this is the overriding energy, is the Page of Pentacles for your reading. And where does this card come from? Well, I did your yearly reading for you in January, and if you didn't see it, it's in my description box. But I pulled out 12 cards in January, and this was your September card. And it's about the Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles is an inner child. We all have more than one inner child, actually. I know mainstream psychology likes to say we have just one, but we have, I've been on this healing journey, and I do parts therapy, so I know that I have more than one inner child. And this particular one is the pentacle. The pentacle is our body. And your young child, 4, 5, 6 years old, was very, very much in their body. And until they learned, to go up in their head, because it was too painful for them to be in their body with these big emotions that were coming out with, some different things that happened to us when we're younger. And this is an inner child of yours that needs healing. And so we'll see how this, comes to play here. I can see already that there is some unworthiness that's coming in here for sure. And that has to do with your inner child that needs healing, your Page of Pentacles. So let's begin with the Two of Swords, Wands, which is the Two of Fire here, the Two of Wands, the Pelican. And I didn't mention the mouse for the Emperor. I usually mention the collie dog is the Five of Air here. I forgot to mention the animals. So our Pelican here, the Two of Wands. Two of Wands in reverse. So the Two of Wands speaks of getting this nudge to take your life in a different direction. And oftentimes it can be something that might require us putting ourselves first for once. It might be, because I think so often we do things because of other people, or we don't do things because of other people in our life. That would affect that person. It would create a domino effect. We just learn at a very young age that sometimes we just don't matter enough to put ourselves first. And so I'm seeing here that there is this nudge that maybe you want to do something a little bit creative. And when I say creative, I mean something you've never done before. It could be anything. It's a general reading. But it's in reverse here. So that means there's this hesitancy, this fear in your part. There's something that's blocking you from doing what you want to do. This thing, you're feeling a nudge. And maybe you don't even know what it is. You're just feeling, I need a change. I need a change in my life because I can see it with the Seven of Pentacles coming in at the end, where it's a Seven of Pentacles is a card of kind of like going, there's something out there for me. There's something else out there for me, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the nudge. And so let's see what's coming up here. What belief system? Maybe there's something. We're going to find out what's blocking that. Why is there this resistance to doing it on your part? Well, you know that there's a decision you have to make. You have two swords here coming up. You're sitting with a decision. There's a decision you have to make, but you're blindfolded here. You're not even willing to look at it because, like I said, it's in reverse here. So it's almost like there's this fear of looking at it, not even willing to take those blindfolds off to see that these two swords are exactly the same. But no, you're not looking at it. And look at all the water behind you. Water has everything to do with emotions. And so they're flowing back here, but they're not flowing for you. You have your blindfold on. And if our emotions aren't flowing, it means we're very much up in our head, because these are the two swords here. Swords are mental energy. And so you're up in your head spinning with this decision that you need to make. And, your answers are in your body. That's where you got to feel your way through this. But you're staying up in your head, and your ego self will keep you up there and just create all these stories for you in your head and keep you in your fear, so that you don't take off your blindfold. The next card that comes up is the High Priestess. Now, we need to remember here that you're up in your head right here. High Priestess is a card. It's a major universal force here. And the High Priestess is number 2 in the major arcana. It's the first half of the feminine energy in the major arcana. You have the High Priestess, and then you have the Empress. The Empress is all about emotions. And did she come up? Oh, she's right in the middle of your shadow. So you've got the two feminine energies here of major arcana. I thought she came up. This High Priestess here, and she's in reverse, and it's understandable because you're up in your head here. She talks about our inner wisdom, and people are so afraid. They think they can't get by her. They think they there's something very mysterious behind this veil. But our inner guidance is our intuition. It's a feminine quality that we all have. But we have to go in our body to access it. And here you are up in your head having to make a decision. You can't make it in your head because your ego self, like I said, will keep you spinning. But you can reach your intuition, which is your inner guidance, your inner knowing. And that's in your body. It's a feminine quality here, but it's blocked. There's a real resistance on your part. It's blocked because you're up in your head and you don't realize that, you know what, you have this intuition. You have this beautiful feminine quality. It doesn't matter what gender you are, by the way. It has nothing to do with gender. And then you have this Six of Wands here. Well, it's blocked in an upright position. The sixes in my deck all have a duality to them. And this one in particular says, it looks like this is a victory card. Look at the victory wreaths. Man coming back from battle. He's won the war. Oh, victory. Victory's coming your way. A lot of tarot readers will say that. But there's something that's hidden here. There's something underneath this green blanket. And it's in reverse here. So the opposite of winning is losing. This is a grief card for me. What have you lost? There's something here you've lost that you need to grieve. And it's in reverse here because there's a resistance or it's blocked. And so it's very interesting here because so we have to get to, like, what false belief do you have about yourself? Well, the Two of Wands is, I really think you believe you can't go in this direction that you're being called, that you're feeling the nudge to go towards. And I know that you don't believe, with this Two of Swords here, you don't believe that you can make this decision. In fact, you're probably feeling very stuck. You're probably feeling very stuck. And stuckness is a thing. You can get stuck because you've got all these things going on in your head. You've got one part of you that's saying, you need to do this, and another part that's going, no, you got to do this. And these are these parts of ours that are battling out in our head. And we're up in our head so much. And that's why these feminine aspect cards are coming to you and saying, no, listen, you need to get into your body. It's very, very important that you need to go into your body because you're not going to get your answer up here. But your belief system is that you are stuck and that you believe that you cannot make this decision for yourself, whatever it is. You're not allowed to make this decision for yourself. And you're meant to do something right here. There's a nudge here that's coming out for you. But there's also some grieving that needs to take place. And it's related to, I don't even know what's here, but I'm going to say that this grieving card is very important here. It's related to what happened to you when you were younger. There's some grieving that needs to take place. And once you do this grieving, once you find out what this is and you do this grieving, you're going to be able to make that decision really easily. That's how this journey works. And like I said, it's very interesting because we're going to go to your shadow right now. And the middle card is the Empress. And she's all about feeling. She's all about getting back into her body. And so there's some grief, like I said. So let's go to your shadow. This is where you've kept all these repressed things about yourself, good and bad. But it really is where the true you is, where your authentic Leo is. And we don't want to go and find out about it because there's stuff in there we have to feel. The Emperor is the first card here, and it's in reverse. And the Emperor talks about this individual that it's very much a father figure, the Emperor. He's very controlling, very, very controlling. And it could be a controlling father. But right away, I'm saying that your environment that you came from was very controlling. This individual, the emperor, makes the rules of society, tells you what things you can do and what you can't do. So maybe, you were controlled. I don't know which way you were controlled. Maybe you don't even know how controlled you were. I didn't know how controlled I was until I went into some intensive therapy for myself and found out I was very, very controlled when I was younger. I mean, we do have sort of an idea, but there's different ways you can be controlled, right? You can be controlled by the beliefs of society. And if you were raised by people that were petrified or scared of, going outside of that, living outside of that box, or, no, we can't do that. What are people going to think? And different cultures will be afraid of rules of society, or sometimes religions can keep us in that box. And so, it's a general reading. So, but it tells me that you lived in a controlling environment here, the emperor, and it was in reverse. So that would tell me that you're very much probably not aware of how controlled you were and how it affected you. So, very fascinating that the Two of Wands comes out here, and I didn't catch it until now. You started off with the Two of Wands here. This little nudge where you were meant to go, you're wanting to do something. Well, guess what else is sitting in your shadow? This is where you were meant to go. This was the direction you were meant to take when you were younger. But if you were controlled, you weren't going to go in that direction. There's no way that you would have went in that direction. And so your true direction that's calling you right now is right here. But you got to get back in your body to find out what it is. And you've got to feel. When you are young and you are supposed to go in a different direction and you are controlled and in whatever way you were meant and you went another way, there is some underlying grief there that's sitting under this green blanket for you that you need to get to. Oftentimes we can defend against that grief with some ungrounded anger. And, it wouldn't surprise me if you were someone that had ungrounded anger. I did. I had ungrounded anger, and you end up taking it out on people close to you. It's not what you want, but when it's not grounded, when it comes out on people. And I don't know if that's your case, but this Empress here who is blocked, her emotions are blocked. And if she's blocked, there is, like I said, some anger that may come out, or some hopelessness. She may feel very, very hopeless. And so as a child, if you are controlled and you're not allowed to do what you want to do, go in the direction you're supposed to go, there's a lot of grief behind that. A lot of grief. And and then you have this Five of Pentacles card comes out. This is the card where these two individuals are walking by this place of worship. And they need to go in to ask for some shoes or some heat, some warmth. But they don't feel worthy enough. And so when you are controlled and not allowed to go in the direction you want to go in, it brings about a heck of a lot of hopelessness. And it also brings about a lot of unworthiness, shame here, right? And there's also grief attached to that right here. So there's a real calling for you to make the decision on your part to go inwards and back in your body and start to feel some of that shame and some of that grief. Get in touch with some of that anger and that hopelessness. Because you weren't allowed to do what you wanted to do when you were younger. You lived in a controlled environment. And so how are you going to start to heal this? Well, the Five of Swords comes in. What's the Five of Swords? The Five of Swords is a card where this individual has just won a sword battle. And they're walking away from it and they have this grimace on their face like they've won. They've won something. And I call it my bullying card because in the background of the Five of Swords card, there's this individual, it's a very small person who's hiding their face like this. And you can't miss that person, because that's the meaning of the card. It's the person that was bullied, right? The person that was controlled by this emperor right here was bullied into being someone else and going into a different direction. This is the shame card. So the universe says it's time for you to look at your shame. You've had shame come up here, and then you have some grief here that you need to look at. So shame and grief seem to be what you need to really get in touch with here. And the universe says, okay, we're going to focus on your shame right here. Seven of Cups card comes up underneath what you need to focus on. Seven of Cups speaks about, look at the clouds, look at all that stuff that's on display here. An individual that's very, very distracted here. And, you know, we already established at the beginning that you are very much in your head here with this blindfold on, and you're not willing to make this decision, not willing to go inwards. This is the distraction card here. We can become quite dissociative when we can distract ourselves with all kinds of things in our outside world. I mean, there's a ton of things out there that we can use to distract ourselves, including our addictions, including social media, including, you know, Netflix or any of those things out there that will just keep busy, right? Workaholism, all kinds of things out there to keep us distracted. And the universe wants you to become aware of, I said, not stop, become aware of how you are distracting yourself from going inwards and feeling your shame. You need to become aware of that. Here's the Three of Cups here. Three of Cups is a reminder. It's three individuals, three feminine energies here, celebrating who they are, celebrating their emotions, celebrating their cup, celebrating how far they've come, And celebrate, like, are you the same person you were 6 months ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Don't forget, you've come far. I think a lot of us get stuck because we actually think, you know, this journey is going nowhere. I can't tell you how many times I've said to myself, this journey's going nowhere. I'm fed up. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. That's what I tell my therapist. I'm going nowhere. You know, I've been in for 7 years of intensive therapy. And I will say to her, you know, I got nowhere. I've gotten nowhere, which I have, but that's how I feel. And that's, you know, maybe what you're saying to yourself right now, but it's a card that says, you know, look how far you've come. Look how far you've come. And then Leo, the last card you get is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. This card in an upright position talks about this individual that's hoed all these pentacles. Look at the face on him. He's put so much effort into his work. And, you know, maybe you are a workaholic. Maybe you are a workaholic because it talks about distractions here. Maybe you're somebody that volunteers a lot for people, gives yourself people, you know. And it's in reverse here because this individual is looking at this going, there's something else? There's got to be something else out there. Like, is this it? I've spent so much time giving of myself. Is this it? You know, especially when we retire, we kind of get that feeling of, is this it? Like, there's got to be something else out there for me. I put all this effort into this job all my life. And it's in reverse here because I think you're a bit in denial as to you know, how much you actually distract yourself from stuff out there, and not realize that you're giving so much of yourself out there when you need to give to you. You need to get back into your body and give to you. And I'm going to give you a playlist, 2 playlists. I'm going to give you one on shame. I'm going to give you a playlist on grounding because I really want you to get into your body because you got some grief here and you've got some shame. And often when we start dealing with our shame and processing it, and I tell you how, and there's some journaling that I can give you that's on the playlist of shame. you'll get in touch with that grief, right? But you got to get in your body first. You got to get out of your head. And you got to get back into your body. The Empress is the main card. I find this center card here really talks about what's going on in your shadow here. You've got blocked emotions for sure. Shame and grounding for you. So one card for you, Leo. This was an awesome reading for you for September. All right. It's always a surprise. Eagle. Eagle spirit. Nice spirit animal. Love eagles. Spirit has your back. Think of the eagles flying high above the other birds, soaring on the wind. Eagle spirit has appeared to ask whether you're willing to soar to new heights, even if that means solitude for a short while. Truly, all the wisdom of the world is available to you. When storms flash across the sky, it is Eagle Spirit that raises you above it all, helping you conquer fear and overcome adversity, reminding you that Spirit has your back and wants you to experience life at its fullest. At this moment, you are meant to know that you are the highest of wisdom and At this moment, you are meant to know that you have the highest of wisdom and courage within you, gifted to you by Spirit and all the angels. If you are walking awkwardly and feeling embarrassed, Eagle Spirit is here to tell you that that is only because right now you are meant to fly. Soar over the troubles that have you feeling scared and alone, seeing the big picture, yet retain your eagle eye for the details that help you claim your wisdom and your courage. Wow. Eagle Spirit, beautiful strength animal for you to grab on to as you make that final decision that you need to make. And that is going inwards, grounding and going inwards and getting in touch with the shame of who you're not. All right. All these lies that you were told when you were younger. So Leo, this is the most important journey of your life. I know it is so incredibly hard. So I want you to have compassion yourself for what you're working through and stay safe. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.